Hey, what's up, Ross? What's good with you, man?
What's up? He knows, man. A lot of things been going on, man. A lot of things been going on in these YouTube streets, these Twitter streets, and these hip hop streets.
Hmm. Yeah. You're absolutely right about that. First things first, man. I really want to talk about it because I think it's very important to talk about, but and it's very clear. Um, wow. Uh, I'm gonna sit here and say this: Ice Cube Jr. confirms that Kendrick Lamar baited Drake and has more coming. What do you feel about that?
Sounds about right. It sounds about right. If from the beginning of our careers, after I drop a a song, basically telling all my peer rappers, let's be competitive. If you're the only rapper that really took it as something that was disparaging. He's the only one that went on all these talk shows and cried and said Kendrick is not respectful to me. He's not appreciative. Like everybody else was like they was like fair game, let's go. Started dropping their little retorts to control. Drake was the only one that took it like a little broad. So ever since then they've been having their little back and forth. If we've been having back and forth for the better part of a decade, at some point, if I'm a prudent man, I'm gonna be getting ready for a war.
Hmm.
The fact that Drake isn't as prepared as Kendrick lets you know a lot about his ego. You think that you could battle with this guy without being prepared? First thing you're
And
supposed to do is
you made a comment. You said he didn't give me respect. So what is he trying to basically say? I'm on a higher level than you, so you're supposed to toe the line and respect me. Is that what you're trying to say?
what Drake does is he siphons from all these different cultures and he'll initially do something good for you, but it's not. It's like LeBron. You know how LeBron befriends everybody? He befriends
Hmm.
everybody because he doesn't want to compete. So Drake and LeBron, they're synonymous. Drake don't really want to compete with these other rappers, so he'll hurry up and try to befriend them real quick. But when the rapper still wants to compete because it's competitive nature, like basketball is, he takes that as
Hmm.
an insult. Like, why you want to compete, man? Let's just be on the same team. Like, he wants to be on the same team while he gets all the credit.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? These niggas hitting
Hmm.
game winning shots, they playing defense, but he wants to circle about the credit while he's not competing. It's some straight LeBron shit. When
Hmm.
Kendrick's more like Kobe, we could be friends off the court. When this rap shit is involved, there ain't no friends. We're competing for the number one spot. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. You said that. So, um, you're basically saying that this whole time Kendrick was collecting the data against him.
Facts. Any any prudent man who's prepared for war, who any prudent man is always prepared for war because you never know. You never know. You know, a friend today could be an enemy tomorrow. That don't mean you necessarily planning somebody's demise, but you have to always be knowing who you're dealing with, how they operate, so you never caught unaware or some shit,
Hmm.
caught off guard. It's I, it's mind boggling that Drake's been doing all this sneak dissing, and yet he looks so unprepared against Kendrick. Like, who's in your circle? No one's advising you that this dude right here is different from the rest of the guys you've been battling. That you might have to take him seriously. You don't know this is the difference between him and Meek Mills. First thing you're supposed to do at war is respect your enemy
Hmm.
enough to do your research.
Hmm.
For these countries go to war, the war don't start in the battlefield. People don't understand what war is. You have a psychological propaganda element of war. You got a economic element of war where they affect each other's economies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got a espionage where they go and try to collect secrets about each other.
Mm.
The battlefield is the last resort. That's the last part of war. That's the end game. There's so many different levels of war people don't understand. That's the end game.
Mm.
So before that even happens, before this sparring goes on, all those levels of war was happening already. The espionage, the economic, trying to see who sells the most records. All this shit was happening already. This is the end game. These
Mm.
guys been at war. They've been at war. But now we're seeing the actual manifestation. You know?
So, do you believe that the powers that be, um, behind the scenes are like, okay, finally, we don't mind you, Drake, finally taking an L, or did you think Drake did something that upset the balance? Because I mean, for the longest, this dude has been able to basically skate defeat. I mean, Pusha T, let's be honest, defeated him properly, but it didn't sting because Pusha T didn't have the fan base, and he was considered quote unquote a niche artist. Um, the whole Meek Mill situation, Meek Mill didn't take advantage and go off, just coming at him using a Rick Ross, high, high beat, high flash Miami style of Maybach music beat, and then just going off kind of like I'm a boss. I think if he would have came at it that way instead of ranting on Twitter, he would have had the edge, even though back to back was what it was, because back to back really wasn't even fire like that. It was just more like a club banger diss. So I even think Meek Mill had an opportunity to get him, but he didn't. So he was able to skate past that. And then for him to then now have to deal with finally the chickens coming to roost and dealing with a guy who's actually started his career out as a battle rapper. For those who didn't know, I mean, that's how Kendrick Lamar started out before he became commercially successful. So to now go up against an actual lyrical beast who really could just conjure up music at just a whim of thought, forget just putting it on wax or putting it on paper. I do agree that it speaks to the ego and the bravado that this guy has been able to cultivate. Because I mean, I saw the way he was doing the rich flex and flexing with 21 Savage. I was like, this guy's so egotistical and so in his, like, I'm Drake, like no one can fuck with me type vibe. Even so much so that even on the Family Matters disc, he said that the only person that he would no, well, not the Family Matters, but the Tailor Made freestyle. Um, he said the only one that he will pull back his release for is Taylor Swift. Everybody else, I drop as if y'all never made it. So if that's not egotistical, I don't know what ego is. I mean, I think this guy's feeling himself to a level to where he felt he was untouchable. And now he's being reached out and touched consistently. I honestly believe that if someone is in this dude's camp, the best thing that they could do is tell him just don't continue to go back and forth. Find a way to divert and leave it alone. And I honestly believe this is happening because Drake said something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm after this, I'm going on vacation." So I think he's doing the concession of defeat without doing the concession of defeat. So I'm saying all of that to say, um, how does the masses get to continue to put the pressure on him? Because he's trying to divert things by him saying, "Oh, after this, I ain't gonna respond. I'm going on vacation. This is beneath me." So what do you have to say to that?
To your original question is, do I think it's the powers that be that did Drake do something? I can't see what he did. I mean, what he did that would make them mad. He's done everything they asked him to do. He's effeminized the black male. He's trivialized black struggle. He's um um he's totally disrespected like the visual of a black woman. Like he's done everything they asked. So I don't. I believe it's more so um, people forgetting that man only has so much control on Earth, and they don't control everything. Some things are happening because this is what God wants to happen. So I think you see a lot of people more brazzing and what they will say against the company guy because they seen somebody went against all odds and still standing. Um, People forget just what Kanye West did, right? Kanye West went against the whole system, it all back, dropped the album independently by himself, and is on his way to platinum here in probably a couple of weeks. Now that people see that that could be done, now they're thinking to themselves, if push comes to shove, I could do this too. Maybe not on that level, I could do this too. There's life outside of the system. Kanye is now proof of that. Now everybody sees that. Now everybody is verbally saying shit that they've been wanting to say against Drake that they couldn't have said without the confidence. The confidence about the confidence of knowing that this shit goes all wrong, I could go straight to consumer. Even like I got a fan base. I could go straight to consumer like Ye did. Everybody didn't believe that at first. They just didn't. They had to see it get done. Now they saw that. Now you shift over to this dude named Kendrick, who's been saying for the last 10 years, Drake don't really want with me. All he gotta do is say my name, and I'll show him what's up. A lot of things gotta line up. It's called the Swiss cheese hole effect. A lot of things gotta line up for powerful. So at the same time, everybody's getting this sense of confidence. My bad. Somebody mowing their lawn outside. So at the same time, everybody's getting a sense of confidence, of real confidence, seeing somebody do the impossible. Drake has an inflated confidence, and he hasn't been keeping his finger on the pulse of the hip hop community. A lot of the real hip hop fans, the real hardcore fans, have grown tired of Drake a long time ago. He's been getting boosted by the women and by young adults. The grown men, the people who decide who wins and loses wars, because let's be honest, a woman's thought process on this don't even matter. Because Nas was selling more records, Jay-Z was selling more records than Nas. Jay-Z still lost the battle because women don't decide who win and lose battles in hip-hop. Men do. It's always been that way. So you could have all the female artists, you can sell all the records in the world, it don't mean a thing. Because niggas decide who is what in hip-hop. Drake lost sight of that. He lost sight of that a while ago. You know who didn't lose sight of that? Kendrick. Kendrick still knows you got to keep your finger pulse on the culture and know what's going on. You got to make sure you're not disrespecting no elders in the culture. Drake made a lot of costly mistakes using Tupac's voice in the AI. So you thought that was going to be something that was going to roll over like that? No. And you're battling against somebody who articulate why that's wrong? Because a lot of haters on the East Coast, they never like Pac anyway. They're saying, and Snoop another hater, they're like, they don't see nothing wrong with it. This is hip-hop. It's a new age of battling. No. Because if somebody would have did Biggie's voice like that, it would have been an issue. Like, nah, you can't just use Tupac's voice to say whatever you wanted to say. You can't do that. That was a big red flag. Not being prepared for this was a big red flag. Matching Kendrick's straight to your face energy with club hits was a big red flag because you're basically taking Kendrick for granted. because Kendrick could do both things, and like he's showing you. But Drake can't do both things. Kendrick can make a scathing personal diss to you, then go and make something that's being pumped in the club. So now you're
mm,
being exposed. Because what you thought
mm,
you was gonna do, you thought you was gonna hit. You thought you was gonna hit your way to a victory.
mm.
But hits don't win real battles. You could do that with Meek Mill because y'all don't have the same y'all don't have the same clientele. Your clientele is way bigger than Meek Mill's. So your clientele could drown Meek Mills out. You lost against Pusha T, but you could drown out that loss by going triple platinum. You can't drown out no loss against Kendrick by going triple platinum because he could go triple platinum too. You know what I'm saying? So this is bad, man.
Mhm.
This is very bad.
And the thing about it is he's charting hits, which is important because in the grand scheme of things, um, charting and hits is the way to make it sting. I
Yeah,
mean, isn't that Drake's forte? Well, he can drown you out because he can make it a hit. Well, he's dealing with an artist who also can bring out hits after hits after hits, and I think that's what's making this so much more profound. A guy who could go toe to toe with him in the hit making department.
right. And that goes and this streaming shit is it. This is this is harsh. If um if this was out during the Jay Z Nas shit, that battle might be different because Jay Z and he could say more brutal shit faster. Back
Mhm,
then, when
mhm,
Jay Z derided Jay Z on the radio saying that was too harsh. That shit got nothing compared. That don't even compare to what Drake right now,
mm,
and he don't need the people. So the people are making these hit records. You, it might debut number one on Hip Hop 100. B Grams is number one right now on Spotify. And the other song he just dropped, Not Like Us. These are top hits on streaming platforms that wouldn't even get on radio because they're so vulgar.
mm,
See, Drake is used to making an old classic radio hit where he drops some little disses here and there. Kendrick not even trying to make radio hits. He did with this last one because he made it a dance track. But Kendrick been straight dropping regular discs that have become hit records. That means people wanted to hear this shit. So he had things
mm,
that people been to say about Kendrick. I mean about Drake. Because if they didn't want to hear, they choose when they want to hear it or not. It's different from radio. Radio tells you what you want to hear by playing it over and over and over. People are choosing to hear these diss records about Drake
mm,
to the sounds of millions and millions overnight. These discs are getting millions of views in hours. So it's not
mm,
just a Drake thing. Drake is saying something that the culture been wanting to hear. It's a phenomenon. It's kind of like when DMX first came out and nothing he did
mm.
miss because the culture wanted DMX so much. Viral City said your best work was a light pack. Right.
I was just about to mention the light pack part
Go ahead. I'll let you go
reference.
into that. I'll let you go into that because I knew about that, but you the one that brought that out in our pre-work conversation. So
Yeah. Good shout outs to Viral City for saying that. I mean, that was gonna be my next thing that when he said your best work was a light pack, I mean that was a reference to the light, light skin and him basically being the ghostwriter. And this guy's been saying since 2015, 2016 in songs that he's done that he was the ghostwriter to back to back. And
mhm.
the light pack reference was to that back to back disc that he did to Meek Mill. Now, my thing
Right.
is this: if your best work has ghostwriting behind it, I mean, now you really are being questioned. Like, you this is your best work and you still use a ghostwriter? Like you were lazy, you was that lazy enough to not even do it yourself? It just speaks volumes to me that he's just not talented like that. See, like if
Well,
Kendrick was going, I've always said this that Drake is he has Jay-Z's bravado, but he lacks Jay-Z's pure MC skills. See, if Kendrick was going against Jay-Z, this would be back and forth because you're dealing with a dude who can rap off the dome
mm-hmm.
and he's metaphorical. So you taking those metaphorical subliminal shots, he's taking metaphorical subliminal shots, and then at some point, Jay, just like he did with Nas, he would have just said, "Fuck all this shit. Let's go to Madison Square. Let's do it in front of everybody, and let's have it recorded. Let's just straight battle rap."
Mm-hmm.
Because he trusts in his MC skills enough to be like, "This is what we're gonna do." But Drake is not like that. He's really a pop star. And I feel like, and this goes back to what I was saying, I feel like there's levels, man. And in my opinion, J. Cole, people can say what they want about, oh, he bowed out. That's some bitch shit. But he's looking like a genius right now. He understood that he is one tier below Kendrick and he didn't want the smoke. So I feel like some guys need to know their levels in life. When you know somebody got your number, it's okay to not even try to even go into that fight because you
Mm-hmm.
already know you're going to lose. That's why when he did the 7 mile, he went ahead and did an apology to the 7 mile. That was the smartest thing ever because guess what? He could sleep well at night. He's the one sleeping well at night right now because he, in his mind, he's like, I dodged a fucking bullet. I didn't know this guy was that prepared. I knew he was prepared, but I didn't know he was that savvy. And then the game said this when he did the cipher under the control with Kendrick. This was back when they did it on BET. And the game said it doesn't matter how good you are. Kendrick is the dude that you don't want to diss because no matter how good you are, he'll still beat you because he'll keep coming back at you harder and harder and harder, and
Right.
he will never stop.
And
I
who
mean,
doesn't sound it?
I think if Drake, like you said, speaking of Drake and him really paying attention to the culture, if he saw that reference that the game said back then, that would have been enough for him to pump the brakes.
Facts.
You're the
Because be,
weakest link between the three. This was supposed to be a three-way battle. People forget. They think it's a two-way battle. No, this was supposed to be a three-way battle between Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake. But the thing about it is J. Cole was smart enough. Being the second best lyricist out of all of them, he was smart enough to bow out. So if you're the weakest link and the second best lyricist bow out, you're supposed to bow out too. But his ego was so entrenched because they've created this bravado. That's why I call him the LeBron James of music. They've created this bravado that he thinks that he's greater than what he is to the point to now it's like I'm untouchable. And since I'm untouchable, I feel like if I can get at this dude being untouchable, nothing's gonna happen to me. And now
mm-hmm.
he's feeling the brunt of no, you're not untouchable. You're actually very touchable. And now this dude is reaching out and touching you consistently over and over and over again. And it's detrimental. The reason why this is detrimental, and you could tell he's even feeling it, is because of the fact that he's responding so fast. Anytime somebody responds back immediately, that means they're feeling the brunt of what you're doing to them. And then on top of that, he's the type of guy that he loves to be famous. He loves to um, be entrenched with his fan base. His fan base has created this fake bravado and this fake thing about him to where they make him seem like he is Transformers more than meets the eyes. But he's realizing he's not a Transformer. He's realizing he's not more than meets the eyes. If anything, is there really more than meets the eyes with him, or is there really a lack of meeting the eye? And that's what Kendrick Lamar is doing. He's revealing that there is a lack of meeting the eye. So if you pumping your chest like you Optimus Prime, but really all along you was Magnus Optimus, and that's what's being revealed right now. You're not Optimus Prime. You're
Right.
not the guy that deserves the Allspark. Because if people remember in Transformers, when Magnus Optimus took over the ranks, the Autobots went to shit.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime had to be resurrected back into the fold from wherever dimension or wherever he was at in order for them to thrive again. And that's what we're experiencing with the Drake era of music. He's a magnanimous optimist.
Right.
And Kendrick Lamar is coming in and saying, look, you're not that dude. So I'm going to reveal that you're not that dude, and I'm going to expose you for that. And you're going to have to eat this L. And people don't understand in life, you have to learn how to eat your loss.
Mm-hmm. Another thing people not understanding is a lot of people who benefit from the system, they are oblivious that they benefit from it. And that they do know, they start their pride and bravado with the fact they have a whole lot of help. It's like the employee of the month at work. Rarely is the employee of the month at work really the best worker. Rarely. It's normally the one who the bosses like the most. It's normally the one who do a lot of brown nosing. It can happen. It's rare. It's rare that the employee of the month or the company guy is really a guy that just does his job, straight shooter, go home. Typically, you got to play some type of game. And a lot of these guys act like it's really their hard work that got them there. They forget it's a whole entity behind them. And when you start depending on that entity behind you, and you start forgetting who's really in control, that there's a creator that's allowing this to happen to you, happen for you no matter what, guess what happens? And y'all can press 3 if y'all agree. You're going to get humbled. That's what's going to happen. When you forget, no matter what these people do in your favor, and I'm not just talking about rap right now, I'm talking to the men right now. When you forget that none of this would happen if God didn't allow it to happen for you, that's when you should get humbled. If you be in a situation where nothing good is happening for you, nothing good going to happen for you, that's when you get humbled. When you think, I'm good because I got this man in my corner, he signed that deal with Lucien and started talking crazy to everybody. At that moment, that man became his God. I'm backed up by this man. I got Lucien now, so I can do whatever. He's basically saying that in rap songs. And immediately, as soon as he said that, next thing you know, his world crumbling. You're a brother, you put in your faith and your devotion into some white man.
So how deep is the cut? How deep is the cut of Lil Wayne confirming Drake smashed his girl while he was locked up? That was one of the things that Kendrick Lamar revealed in the bars.
It's very deep because while his fan base are young and impressionable and do the same thing themselves, they have not begun to live life yet. Us grown men and women, we see that as despicable already. But as his starts to get older, go through things, have people smash their old lady or try, you know what I'm saying? Then they're going to start saying just how underhanded and undermining this dude is. It don't matter what happens, man. I never even met your ex. Let's say y'all still together. And let's say that we be tight, real tight. If you had to go away for some shit, I would never try your old ever. And we'll never be in predicaments where that could even happen. Because you ain't even home. I would never be asking her to do shit, blah, blah, blah. I'll check up on her, see if she needed something. Platonically, over at your crib, my feet kicked up, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. Because anything can happen between us, with two people who, one person who's longing for somebody and somebody who finds that person attractive.
Yep.
Anything can happen. It
Facts.
did, so I want you to put the Bible said, "Don't let your good deeds be even spoken of."
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Um,
You hit it right on the thumb.
so don't put yourself in bad predicaments, man. The fact that you think that's cool to do lets me know that you don't have the integrity and the morals.
I mean, it's conniving.
It's
I mean, just
conniving.
like Kendrick said, you don't even need to use another word outside of what he used. It's down, deep down conniving. That's what it is.
And the crazy thing
Somebody
about
said Drake only has street cred because of Rap A Lot Records.
right, and even Rap A Lot is being tested right now with their street cred
Mm-hmm.
because in his old age, he's not putting his foot down. And it's growing his legacy in his old age.
Yep. I
So
mean,
his
he's been
event,
exposed. He's been exposed since the whole Migos situation with Takeoff. They've been exposed since then, and how the way they handled that. I mean, they handled that very poorly. How you have somebody come into your town and you don't make sure the person is taken care of,
they get killed
especially
on your
somebody with that level of notoriety. Like you should already know. Okay, you come into my town. You know, hey, he's not. I don't give a fuck what happens in no card game. Like that's not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to be touched
right.
unless that was already something they wanted to happen in the first place. So, you know, and
Mhm.
that's the things of behind the scenes that we don't know. And that's why I asked myself the question, was this something that was pre-planned from behind the scenes? And did Drake piss somebody off in the higher ups? And I'm talking about the higher ups. I'm talking about people that are even more powerful than Lucy and Grange, because the most powerful people are the most invisible people. Al Heyman has proven that. The more powerful a person is in the ranks, the less visibility you have of that person.
Mhm.
So the people in the highest degrees in the highest orders, I'm sure something may have happened. He may have said something because people get in their ego, man. They get in their bravado. They start flexing. This is a shit that's happening to Diddy right now. You know, Diddy is probably upset at somebody, you know, and just flexing. I'm Diddy. I'm Diddy. Because let's be honest, niggas act up, man. When niggas get money and niggas start getting in their egos and shit, like they start acting up, man.
Yeah.
And then eventually you say something around the wrong person that you know you shouldn't be saying. And that person is like, all right, they don't say nothing to you because remember, killers move in silence. They don't say nothing to you. So they're like, all right, I'm gonna fuck this motherfucker up. He don't know what's about to happen, but I'm about to drop the hammer on him. So I believe there's something along the lines of that has happened behind the scenes that we're not privy to. That he fucks some kind of relationship up with someone, and they're like, okay, we know that this is the guy that's the napalmer. We know that this is the guy that can end him. Let's just sick the dogs on him because for the longest, they behind the scenes. This is what I believe. They probably was like, "Yo, Kendrick, lay off," because it took Kendrick a while to get at him. They're like, "Nah, not yet. You know, we don't want you to release the dogs on him yet."
Yeah.
Then probably did something behind the scenes to upset the balance,
Yeah. I already
and they're
got an
like,
explanation for that.
fuck him, Kendrick, go ahead and get at him."
Um, First of all, press three. If y'all agree with anything that's being said, press three, man. Press three. That's how we know y'all still here. Y'all still engaged. If you hear something that you agree with, press three if you agree.
Press 3 if you motherfucking agree. I mean, we have the cash apps up. Make sure you donate to motivate. I mean, we've
The
been up for a
the
while now. If we if
the
we're
the,
not
the
if we're not
difference
touching any donations, I mean, we're gonna have to eventually end this.
the
But go
difference
ahead, bro.
the difference between what's going on now and all those years back then was Kendrick was under somebody back then.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who was still a part of the industry who still got to play ball. He was under TDE, under Aftermath. Now Kendrick is independent.
Mm-hmm.
His drop say Kendrick Lamar or PG Lane. He owns PG Lane and he's independent from them. So more vocal. He's dropping his shit straight to consumer platform. These discs have been straight from Kendrick, licensed to Interscope, dropped on the platform. Dropped from the platform. So his opinion isn't owned anymore or curated now. He used to have to do subliminals, blah blah blah. Now he just straight blah. That makes a difference. So I think Kendrick being independent is why it looks like, oh, somebody left him off the leash. Ain't nobody got Kendrick by no leash, man. Could sick him on nobody. Kendrick he has not never liked this dude like that. And now contractually, his family won't take a hit if he says what he wants to say now.
Yeah.
That's like me. I'm out the military. Long I don't divulge no bound by that. I can't divulge no level secrets that I know. That's treason. But I can say the military wasn't a lovely experience. I could talk about the racism in the military that I couldn't necessarily do while I was still in the military. Because I was bound under that contractual agreement. So now that I'm loose, say what I want. Kendrick loose, you see he's saying what he wants. He's up in the ante every time because can't nobody really do nothing. All they could do is say, oh, well, we're not going to license this. You got to drop it by yourself, purely by yourself. Then he'll just drop it like how Kanye dropping it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he's not bound anymore. So that's one thing right there. And another thing, what goes up must come down, man. Nothing's on top forever. And sometimes when you come down, a lot of times when you come down, especially when you somebody like a LeBron or a Drake who's been these people tell you to do. I mean, selling out, wearing fingernail polish. This is not like he's looking like a Kanye. Drake has never bucked. Sometimes it comes you used to be, or you never was that, and people starting to see it. Like Ron, people are starting to see he never was like that. It was the things that was around him. Now that he has to be the guy to close games out, he's not like that.
Yeah, and that's why he's getting eliminated in the first rounds now. I mean, the dude just needs to go, man, because he looks like an old man out there. I don't give a fuck what you trying to stay in because of your son. Man, get the fuck out of there.
And if we're being honest, in these last 4 years, LeBron James hasn't really made the playoffs. He's been needing plans to get into the playoffs.
Exactly.
Did Michael Jordan have a plan? Did Larry Bird have a plan? Did Kobe Bryant have a plan? Isaiah, these guys that have plans, man. If you didn't make the cut, you ain't getting in the playoffs.
Well, the only cut that the only thing that Drake said that was clever, because I like to give credit where credit is due, but he didn't capitalize off of that because you have to capitalize on your genius, right? His genius is shitting on you and basically saying I have more money than you, and basically saying that I'm a bigger star than you. He could have kept the capitalization on that when he basically addressed Kendrick Lamar's 50-50 deal with TDE. He was like, that means everything that was released under TDE, because he signed a 50-50 deal, that means TDE still gets 50% of everything that you're signed off, royalties, whatever, regardless if you still did with them or not. But the thing about it was he didn't capitalize off of that.
It was a lie. That's why you can't capitalize off it, because it was a lie. Because Kendrick just dropped several songs that don't have TDE in sight. It's just Kendrick Lamar.
But he did sign a 50-50 deal? I thought he signed a 50-50 deal when he started.
In the beginning, he signed a 50-50 deal. Kendrick Lamar, you ain't know this, huh? Kendrick Lamar is not with TDE no more. They just fuck with him.
I know that. I know
this deal right here.
He hasn't been with them for so long, but how did he get out of that 50-50 deal though?
Oh, it elapsed. It elapsed after he did after he dropped that last album, Mr. Morale, the Big Steppers. That was it. It elapsed, and he went a separate way.
Okay.
He ain't re-up. Yeah, so it was cap, but I don't think he's not prepared. He don't have nothing on Kendrick, because this why it pays to be secretive. It pays to be to yourself and not on the scene all the time. because he's not on the scene all the time, even his miscues we don't know about. Like a lot of shit about Kendrick, we didn't even know about until he brought it out in Mr. Morale about the shit. When I ain't know he's cheating on his girl. I ain't know that he had those type of issues. Like I ain't know he was struggling with certain shit.
Mm-hmm.
He had to bring it out. Like a lot of shit that Drake is talking about, it's shit that Kendrick already rapped about. And he's just using it as because he don't have nothing to say. But as far as like, because nowadays people think they need tea or they need some type of gossip to win a battle. There's no real big gossip on Kendrick. So he has to say shit. He has to make shit up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I heard one of your son ain't yours and stuff like that. And that shit could work a little bit. But the thing about today's day, it's not like when Jay-Z and Nas was beefing. When Nas lied and said Jay-Z wasn't known that his project was getting chased around and shit, that was a lie. But we didn't have the internet to go look everything up and shit like we got now to verify shit. We just had to listen to that shit and question it. Like, damn, what's this?
Yeah, but I believe when it comes to spinning, you have to have a reputation to where when you spin, even if you spin a lie, you have to have a reputation to where you're so respected that even when you spin and it's a lie, the shit is so fire, people are not gonna question it. They're just gonna accept it. Right. And that's the problem with Drake. Drake doesn't have the fire reputation that Nas has. You know what I'm saying? Nas already had Illmatic in the tank. So even though he lied, even in that time, like let's say even if it was in this time where it was a fact-checking time, people would have been like, damn, Nas lied, but I ain't gonna lie, that's Nas. So that shit was still fired. That's what people would have said anyways.
Right, but
they would have let him get away with it. But they wouldn't let Drake get away with it. You feel what I'm saying?
The lose thing when they find out it's not facts or shit. You know what I mean? But
yeah, it loses thing, but it would have still motherfuckers in the hood would have been like, I ain't gonna lie, that shit was still fire because Nas said it. You know what I'm saying? But Drake saying it, it's like,
right. When you Drake and you do it, and you already been caught in so much nefarious things behind the scene. Mm-hmm. It's just another black eye. You know what I'm saying? It's just another black eye.
Now the Taylor Swift shots, right? Because they both mentioned Taylor Swift. Now, do you think it's because Kendrick was able to work with Taylor Swift and he never worked with Taylor Swift? You think it was a jealousy thing? That's what I'm getting. I'm getting that vibe. Like, Bad Blood was one of her biggest tracks ever that she made, and it just so happened that Kendrick featured on that shit. So is it because he never worked with her and he's just jealous and that's why he's ranting? You know, because that's the vibe I'm getting from that shit.
Facts. Hold on, before I answer that. Hey, so you come on here and you're promoting somebody else's channel. That's kind of rude, and you're not donating to this channel, but you promoted somebody else's channel saying, check out this guy. Like, bro, you got to be a part of the conversation. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? Like, this ain't my platform to kick you out, but you got to be a part of the kind of conversation. You can't come here and just not donate to the platform and then promote somebody else's platform. Like, who does that, man? Y'all, press 3 if y'all agree. And I want to start seeing y'all comments. What do y'all think? This and the third. We're not here to elaborate and to preach to y'all. We want to know what y'all think as well. But at the same time, with Drake, there's a lot of covetousness. There's a lot of covetousness and there's a lot of jealousy with Drake. So that's something to think about.
I put him on timeout. If you do it again, then I'm gonna kick you out. I feel like everybody deserves one chance.
Yeah, that's something to think about. It's something to think about because the reason why he got a problem with A$AP Rocky because A$AP Rocky is with the woman he thought was going to be the woman of his dreams. He's mad at A$AP Rocky has the life he think he should have. If you listen to his lyrics, he's mad at Rihanna. He's mad at this nigga. He supposedly said that A$AP Rocky that was so fired was A$AP Rocky shut up to go make another baby with Rihanna. That's permeating his mind. Why are you thinking about this man making a baby with his wife. How is that a diss?
But then
You so
didn't he have a back and forth with Chris Brown over Rihanna? Oh, at some point too.
right because neither one of them, they both wanted to be on a higher level with her than what she wanted. She wanted to date around. They wanted to marry this, but she ain't seen them as nobody to marry, so she ain't marry him.
I think with Chris Brown, I think with Chris Brown, he was what ASAP Rocky is. It's just the whole abuse shit that went public. I think that's what fucked him over. But I really think that she had feelings for Chris Brown. Drake, on the other hand, I agree with what you said on that. But I think with Chris Brown, there was genuine feelings there. It's just that whole public debacle of him putting hands on her. Like you know how you can't unsee shit. That shit was just too graphic, man. I think that's what fucked it up.
And as you can see, Chris Brown ain't jealous because Chris Brown probably thinking in his mind, good for ASAP.
Yep.
Good for him, man. He got good for him. I fucked up. I did this or whatever. Even if she burnt you, you don't do a girl like that.
Exactly.
You don't do a woman like that. You gotta get up out of there.
Yeah.
You can't do a woman. You doing a woman like that. That displays the most feminine behavior.
Yeah. You kind of putting yourself out there by you saying that. It's basically what you're saying is you would do the same thing too. You would hit her too.
Like nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
You probably don't want to reveal your true nature like that, bro.
Nah.
We're trying to help you. A lot of people are young like that. We're trying to help you.
And that's the thing, man. What people need to understand is, as a man, we are held to a higher discipline standard, a higher moral, ethical standard.
Yep.
And he damn near threw away his career doing that. And
the weakest thing you could do is put your hands on a woman. The strongest thing you could do as a man is walk away.
Chris Brown's supposed to be at Michael Jackson level right now.
Mm-hmm.
He was on that trajectory. He was a child star. Hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. Then his career took a nosedive because he couldn't keep his hand off a woman. And now he done climbed up, but he never got to the superstar status again. Now he's like in purgatory between hood star and superstar status. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where he's supposed to be at the top of the mountain right now.
Yeah, he should be the biggest pop star ever at this point. In this genre. No doubt about that.
That's because
it doesn't matter if you never had those problems. The fact that you co-signed it, that says that if you're pressed and you're put in that position, you would do the same shit.
Right, or you'll think about it.
You told on yourself.
And at the end of the day, you got to consider who you're dealing with too.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to consider that a lot of niggas having sex and they don't even understand the human anatomy, their own anatomy, or a woman's anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
You having raw sex, you can't put your hands on a female because she burnt you, because what you're doing is you're not taking accountability for having sex. Yep. You could easily put on a condom. Number one, a lot of times when a woman burns you, they don't even know they're burning because women get symptoms later. Men, we get symptoms right away.
Mm-hmm.
A woman could be burning for weeks and won't know till she starts smelling funny, or a man, we get symptoms right away, like either that same day or a day later. We be like, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just like you know.
Yeah, something not right.
If you've had that happen, like I've had it numerous times, you fucking know
something not right.
You start seeing that pus shit come out your shit,
And I do this. I don't. To myself, I don't go and chase I let her know, hey, this is what's going on, because that's a responsible thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't necessarily call her like, bitch, body, I'm gonna do that, because man, I just know.
But when you say she burnt Chris, that's why he hit her. You're basically co-signing. You have to take accountability to the shit that you say.
Yeah,
you're basically using self-projection that you would do the same thing too.
Right, and if you wouldn't, you're on that path that you would think about it, and if you're thinking about it, all it takes is the right trigger, and you would do it. The fact that that's your response, is an issue. It's problematic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not the reason. He did that because of trauma, because he done
Yeah.
seen that before. And he thinks
Yeah.
he has to act out in violence.
Yeah.
Anybody with a functioning brain knows I can't put my hands on this woman like she a man. No, I can't put my hands on it anyway because just me shaking her is assault. But I definitely can't put my hands on her like she a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't just slap her, which would have been wrong. He knotted her up. It's like she got jumped.
Yep.
I mean, she stood over and beat her for a while.
Yep.
He stood over and beat her for a while, like she was a dude. He was out of pocket for that.
Yes or no, physically, his body's more dominant than hers. I mean, it goes without saying.
Yeah.
A man's body is more dominant than a female's body. So why would you even put yourself in a position to even put hands on her? Like, that's just common sense.
And another thing that we like to do on this platform is this is really volunteer time. Exactly. Unless you're donating to the platform and you're a friend of the platform, you can't really come on here and just request. We're definitely going to get back to the topic. Well, you can't come on here and request what they need to be doing and what they need to be saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
donate
saying?
to motivate.
Right,
donate to motivate, and you get what you get.
Right. You're not even donating to motivate. So at the end of the day,
so quite frankly, just shut the fuck up and listen to what we say. We running the shit, pretty much. We're gonna make it very clear. So if you wasn't here in the beginning when we were addressing the topic, that's on you. So your rabbit ass can't come on here and tell us what we need to talk about or not. We kind of deviated to this topic because it had something to do with Drake or whatever. But if your rabbit ass was here from the beginning, you would understand what the fuck we was talking about.
We're still on topic. We're what you call elaborating and developing. Mm-hmm. We're still on topic because the topic is a lot of the issues Drake has is out of his jealousy. And there's nothing more than that. Drake sees something somebody else got and he wants it. That's another thing he has but he had common with Jay-Z. Jay-Z that had no problem sleeping with somebody else's wife or sleeping with somebody else's girlfriend because he's a coveter. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why he stayed in a lot of beefs and shit too. Over women. You know what I mean? So when we speak about this, if you have a mind to connect the dots, then you wouldn't need somebody to be directly talking about the topic. You'll be able to connect the two. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's not that hard to do. Yep. Yeah, and we're not really getting any donations like that anyway, so we ain't gonna be here too much longer anyway. You won't have to deal with us too much longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, but in hip hop, people need to understand that hip hop there's a lot of things are deeper than the lyrics. And once you know the backstory to a lot of things, then you understand the lyrics in a deeper level.
Exactly.
You understand lyrics at a deeper level, especially with Kendrick. Kendrick ain't just he's not just disrespecting Drake. He's disrespecting the whole industry and how they move behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. And Drake just happened to be the face of the industry, so he's getting the brunt of it.
So what do you think of Kendrick liking Drake as a sex trafficker and a pedophile? I mean, he did a whole track talking about him being a pedophile.
I think it was genius because the first track, keeping a sword and all these disses, and niggas just been ignoring it, looking for the most simplest shit. Like in the track, Meet the Grounds, they're like, Drake got a daughter? I need to see proof Drake got a daughter. Drake having a daughter is inconsequential. Mm-hmm. It's very minute. The real things. The real thing that's important is the actual claims that coincide with Drake's actual life that this dude is grooming underage girls. Anybody who's focusing on a daughter he might or might not have is missing the whole shit. So Kendrick coming back and saying, okay, y'all purposely missing this because I made this too intellectual. Let me dumb it down just a tad bit and put it on a dancing beat. Now he's forcing people to have to deal with the fact that this guy may or may not be a pedophile. Not saying may or may not, because I don't want this live stream to get torn down. But I already have what I really feel about the situation. Now he's forcing them to do it. Because as they dance, even if they're not paying attention or not, your subconscious mind never goes to sleep. You go to sleep. Your subconscious mind never goes to sleep. You're not paying attention, but your subconscious mind is picking up birds. It's picking up everything, and you just was to be still. You'll hear so much shit. All because you're not paying attention don't mean you're not digesting it. They're digesting this in the club. So here down the line, when they start looking at Drake like a pedophile, like really looking at him, they're not gonna know when it hits them, but it's hitting them now. Because the truth is gonna permeate no matter what. You can reject it, you can not want to hear it, but the truth is gonna do what the truth is supposed to
do. Any closing thoughts, man?
Nah, man. I mean, let's get up out of here. You know, let's get up out of here. I would like to dedicate another hour, but if we're not getting the engagement that we need, if we're not getting the donations that we need, then this is a good stopping point for real.
All right, man. It's been real. It's been easy. Peace.
Peace.